What's happening, guys? Today I want to answer a question a lot of you have been asking, and that is, once you actually have the potential product, once you found that idea, how do you actually go about finding a supplier who can help you build that envisioned product? How can you actually find the manufacturer who's going to produce that for you before, of course, you ship it to the fulfillment center? So in this video, that's what we're going to be answering. And I'm excited to show you two new tools today, which are going to help you find manufacturers for that specific product. So let's take a look at an example product and we can go from there. So this was the product we found in the product research video. And if you haven't seen that video, I'm going to link it for you below. But coming off of that, that's the product we're going to look to source now. And this was a whiskey glass gift set for men, as you can see here. But now, how do we go about finding a supplier of that product? Well, step number one is to work out your maximum buy price for this product. Now, the first thing I want you to do is write down your goal price for this product, what you aim to sell this product at. And if you remember in that product research video, we actually went through looking at the customer favorites, which ones do people like most, and included there is we found a specific competitor that we wanted to follow. We were going to follow them perhaps aesthetically or on their marketing strategy or on the style of product, because we saw that starting to sell really well. So if you remember in that video, we actually found one of those, and it was this one over here. And we actually wanted to go with the more rugged and crate looking type options because we saw there were less of those and those were selling well. So this is going to be our example product. Now this one we can see has a price of $34.97. So that is going to be our goal price. We know it sells well at that price. That's what we're going to build up to. Now we want a 40% profit margin on products at this point. We're not considering like PPC ads and things like that. So we're going for a 40% profit margin. Now if we take that sell price, multiply it by 40%, we're actually going to end up here with $13.98. So do that for your product as well. Now that $13.98 is actually our profit per unit. It's our minimum profit per unit that we want to earn. And at this point, Amazon fees become important. So go to your product and then you're going to open up the Helium 10 X-ray Chrome extension, as you can see here. And if we click on that, it's going to open the details for this product. And over here, we can actually see the FBA fees at $11.05. Now that $11.05 includes Amazon referral fees and FBA fulfillment fees for when they ship it to the customer. So those are our Amazon fees. Now what we're going to do is take that sell price, we're going to deduct Amazon fees from that, and we are going to get our sell price after fees. And here we get $23.92. And at this point, what we're going to do is deduct our minimum profit per unit that we just worked out. We're going to deduct that off of $23.92. And you can see here we get to $9.94. So just to keep it simple here, we're going to call that $10. And that is our maximum buy price. So you can see there really what we've done is taken our sell price, removed pieces that we know we're going to pay, included a profit margin that we do want to earn, and we've worked out the maximum buy price possible, and that's going to help us in choosing specific suppliers and ending up profitable long term. And step number two, this is to find suppliers. So let me show you the first of those two new tools. So we were searching whiskey glasses gift set for men here, and many of you already have Helium 10. Now when you're on your market like this on Amazon, just open up that Chrome extension, Helium 10's Chrome extension, open up X-ray, and it's going to load your normal Chrome extension. But at the very top, you can see source on Alibaba.com, and that's what we want to click here. And this is called the Alibaba Supplier Finder, and it's the first of these two new functions you can use. And if you have Helium 10, you're just going to be able to use these features now. If you don't have Helium 10, there are discount links below, and those also support the channel. So if you like what you see here, you can check those out as well. But the Alibaba Supplier Finder is going to help you quickly and easily find top suppliers for this product. As you can tell, it's actually using the Amazon search term you typed into Amazon to find suppliers on Alibaba. So just keep that in mind when using that specific search term on Amazon. You don't want it to be like way too specific or long tail, because it is using that to also find Alibaba suppliers. But here there are a couple things that we can input in order to find the right suppliers. So here you can see we can actually put in a max price. That's what I like to put in here, and I'm going to put it just above our maximum buy price that we worked out. So I'm actually going to put in $11 here. Our minimum and maximum MOQ. Here, I'm going to put an MOQ maximum of 500. So a bit more of an expensive product probably. So I want a max of 500. I want to find those that offer 500. And then minimum vendor ranking. Here, I want to put this at least 4. That's a scale of 1 to 5, ranking suppliers. So the higher, the better. I want someone with over a 4-star rating. And then we can click on these advanced filters here. And you can see you can actually filter by supplier country. So if you're trying to avoid like tariffs in China, this is really effective. If you're looking to source locally, let's say in the US or even the UK, you can use this tool for that as well. Vendor type is very interesting. And here you can select if you only want to find manufacturers or trading companies. Here I'm going to go with manufacturer. And then age of the account. I'm going to go with 3+ years because I'm looking for more experienced suppliers. And then we can apply. So this is going to bring up really important supplier information in accordance with these settings we've set here. And you can look through them. When you get to the bottom of the list, you can also click load more results. It's going to keep showing you other results. And let's try find one which matches the kind of customer favorite we found, the strategy we're looking to follow as we produce this product. So here, I really like this one over here. This is a more rugged looking one. It's within our buy price, our max buy price. And I like that they have whiskey bullets. Obviously, whiskey stones are a big thing. They keep the whiskey chilled within the glasses, and you don't want to just use ice because that's going to water down the whiskey. But the whiskey bullets are a very big search volume keyword currently, and it goes along with our rugged feel. So this one interests me, and we're going to look more at this. Now for each of these potential suppliers, you can see some really good info. We've got the price here, so it's going to be between $6.90 and $8.90. Just a note on this range, the highest of the range, so let's say $8.90, that is if you order the MOQ, which you can see here is 500 pieces. You cannot order from the supplier if you order less than 500. That's the minimum order quantity. So if you do order the minimum order quantity, you're going to pay the highest of the range. If you order more than that minimum order quantity, you're going to pay less and less and less, down to a possible minimum of $6.90. So that's how that price range works. We can also see the lead time for creating this product, which is 30 days here. We can see whether the supplier offers trade assurance or not. This one does with this little crown icon. And we can see supplier reviews. We can see they have 4.9 stars out of 5. So probably a very reliable supplier. And we can see the vendor type, which here is stated as manufacturer, which I personally prefer to trading companies. And just an extra note here, the really cool thing with this is that you're not even having to leave Amazon. You can see we're still on Amazon itself, and we're already getting all the supplier information. The other cool thing is we can estimate costs here. So let's say it would cost us $8 to manufacture this product, and we can estimate it's going to be a $2 international shipping cost with duties, etc. So it's a $10 landed cost to Amazon. So then what we can do is we can come over to our product on Amazon here that we're looking to follow. We can open up the Helium 10 extension, click profitability calculator, and we can actually drop in a cost here. So you can see if we drop in $10 here, I'm also going to remove the freight cost there because we've included that in our estimate of the cost. Well, here we can actually start to estimate what our profit margins are going to be. So really quickly we can get a good idea while actually referencing real world suppliers. So you can see in this case it's estimating a profit margin of about 42%. That's over our initial profit margin target of 40%, which is really good. Now, your goal at this point is to find between 3 and 5 suppliers. So that's what you're looking for, potential suppliers. And then what we can also do, say we really like the look of one supplier, we can actually click directly through to them. So let's say we really like the look of this one over here. We can actually click directly through to it, and you can see it's going to open Alibaba as per normal, which you're probably more used to. The other thing that we can do here is, say you're struggling to build that list of 3 to 5, you can actually click on view more on Alibaba.com at the bottom here. And that's going to open Alibaba as per normal according to the search term you used on Amazon previously there. So that's another way you can use this. Step number 3 is to click the like button and also to confirm your product design. Now, it's important as we start to really look closely at suppliers, their capabilities, and whether we want to work with them, that we know exactly what we want to build. So we're going to confirm product design at this point. Now, we already did that product research, and again, I'm going to link that video below for you if you haven't seen it. We've chosen our customer favorites, our differentiation strategy, we've done review research, but at this point it is important just to double confirm the product type we want to build out and just how we want to change that product as we start working with manufacturers. Because once we've confirmed that, we know exactly which capabilities we're looking for with suppliers, and we know how to accurately vet those suppliers, and of course exactly what to ask them for, or how to reach out to them, or what to request from them. So it's very important you get concrete on this. And this brings us to the second new tool, which we're actually going to open from Alibaba.com, and this is called the Alibaba Demand Analyzer. Now, when you do this, I recommend come over to Alibaba, type in your shortest possible keyword. So in this case, it's going to be whiskey glass set. The reason for that is we want to keep it a bit broader at this point. So we're going to click on that, we're going to search, and these results come up for us. And at this point, we're going to open the Helium 10 extension, but on Alibaba. You're going to have to enable this if you haven't already. And at this point, you can launch Alibaba Demand Analyzer. Now, what this is going to do is tell us how much search volume, how much demand is there for this type of product on Amazon and related products. So you can see immediately for that search term, we have 7,380 searches on Amazon per month. That's what was happening in the last 30 days here. What's also very cool is we can click on the graph next to that. You can see it's going to give us the trend of that search volume. So you can establish seasonality for that specific product type as well. This is all going to give you inklings as to how to build your product. I'm going to show you how to do that. Here we can see we have big peaks in March, May, and June, as well as of course December with Q4. So we have big peaks throughout the year, and that's something we covered a lot in the gift video, the advantages of gifts video, which I'll also link for you below. They're going to have these big spikes through the year, but what we also want to look at is the general stable kind of search volume out of those peak seasons. We can see it's between 5 and 10,000 generally here, which is very good. That's going to give us enough demand through the year. We're just going to have to order more during those peak seasons. But getting back to confirming how you're going to build this product out, we can see the top selling products for this term on Amazon as well. That's going to give you an inkling to the design you want to follow. But more importantly, we can see related terms here. So for example, we can see that whiskey glasses set of 2 outperforms whiskey glasses set of 4 by almost double. So that kind of makes the decision for us in terms of should we do a set of 2 or a set of 4. Well, we've got far more demand for a set of 2. However, the reverse can sometimes be true. For example, here we can see whiskey glasses set of 6. Now that's really niche, and you would think it had really low demand, low competition, and it might well have low competition on Amazon, but we can see that there is quite significant demand for that. So in this way, you can also reverse the strategy and go for something a bit more niche, but just knowing that there is enough demand there for you. So that's another way you can play this. But generally, we're looking here for what do people type in most related to our product type, because it's going to help us build out that product type that they favor. We can then have those keywords on our listing. We have that type of product. And so we're going to rank for more keywords. We're going to get more traffic. We're going to make more sales. And basically, we're serving exactly what customers are searching for. We're giving them exactly what they need. Now, if you want to see even more data on this, we can actually click on See Full Keyword List at the bottom here. And this is going to open Magnet for us. Now, in Magnet, what I'm going to actually do, I have the tab open, is I'm then going to filter those results by search volume, high to low. I want to see the highest search volume first, the highest demand first. Then you can move through this list, noting what customers want most. Now, another big thing I'm seeing here, just as an example, is crystal. The word crystal is coming up in a lot of these top search terms. People want crystal glass, not fake glass or normal glass. They want crystal. So this is something we're going to build into our product, and it's something, of course, we've got to vet manufacturers on. They've got to be able to provide us with crystal whiskey glass. We can also see terms like gift and gift set and gifts for men. This tells us the gifting part of this is very big. So our supplier needs to be able to provide us with a proper whiskey glass box that we want and can perhaps design in a way that we want. They've got to be able to help us with packaging that box very well. And they've got to be able to be flexible on creating the best opening experience possible, perhaps helping us keep certain components down or flat within that package. So when it's opened, it's a great gifting experience. This is very important. This is something you're also going to work with your supplier on. And here as well, we also see the term bullet coming up a lot. And that's something we referred to earlier, is people prefer the whiskey stones, which are the bullet version. And that lines up with our rugged style we're going to go for. So this is something our supplier also needs to provide and work with us on. But really at this point, what you're doing is confirming the design of your product. You're confirming the envisioned design of that product based on actual demand numbers. So I love how Helium 10's now kind of combining product types with search volume, product types with demand, and that's going to help make your job a lot easier in terms of how you build your product out, knowing how you want to build it out, and choosing your suppliers. And step number 4, this is to evaluate your suppliers. So now that we have a group of potential suppliers, we've confirmed exactly how we're going to design the product, it's time to start narrowing down to the best. And what you want to do for each of those suppliers is click through to their Alibaba listing if you haven't already from that first tool we used. And once you're on their listing, you're going to come over to the right-hand side and you're going to click on their company name over here. And this is going to open their Alibaba store. And there are 3 primary things we're trying to work out here. Number 1, what product types and categories do they offer? This is important because we want them, if possible, to provide all of the components that we want to include in that final product design. Doing it with one supplier is always easier and often more cost efficient as well. Number 2 is, do they offer a new or improved version of that base product? This is something you definitely want to look through their little supplier site on as well. Remember, some products are already on Amazon, others are new. They've just been created. And maybe your supplier, especially if they focused on this niche, they could have a new version which you could take advantage of, that you could tweak to your own style. So that's something we're looking at as well. And number 3, can we do future products with them based on their product line? And this is where I like to see manufacturers who are more focused on a specific niche rather than a jack of all trades. There's 2 reasons for that. 1, the quality of that product is often going to be a lot better. And 2, it allows you to expand your product line in line with your brand because their product line is in line with their brand in a sense. They're focused on one niche. So if we scroll down here, we can see immediately this looks quite good. We're seeing good signs that they can help us develop what we want. You can see here are the bullet whiskey stones. We can see here they have stone coasters, which was another big thing, is that the coasters were too flimsy or felt cheap in our review research. And this is something we're going to want to do. It's something they provide. So that's what you're looking for here. So what you can do there is just click through their catalog, looking for specific products that you're interested in. For example, this one is one we found, same company. And then what you want to do is save this URL, this link at the top. And you also want to take a screenshot of this item. That's going to help you in multiple ways, especially in terms of explaining to the supplier what you want later. And here, for example, are these stone coasters, and these are even brandable, which is really cool for our offering. And another thing which is great with this supplier is that they do offer these kind of crate style boxes. We wanted to kind of go with a crate aesthetic to our whiskey box. They do offer multiple types of boxes like this, as you can see on this listing here. And they do specialize in crystal glass, as you can see on this listing here. They actually show the manufacturing process in this one. So that's something we're looking for as well. So that's how you can easily look through their store. You can just see here products, and you can actually go through their product categories as well. If we click now on see all categories, we can actually look at the other products they create. This is going to help us perhaps with product line extensions in the future. Again, here we can see different whiskey stones, bullet style. We can see stone coasters. They also do various bar top type products as well, which is something we could extend to. But I'm not finding what I'm looking for. So I'm going to hover over products again, and I'm going to look for something specific. Let's go to drinkware. So here's a good example of a potential product line extension. We can see these whiskey decanters over here. It's obviously a lot of glass. It's going to be quite fragile, so we have to protect it well. But this is a search term that's coming up a lot. Even in just our whiskey glass gift set research, we're seeing a lot of demand for this type of product as well. So that's a very good example of a product line extension. And as you're building out your kind of whiskey brand, you're able to do that with the same relationship you've built with the supplier. Relationships take time, trust, bank details, all the rest. So if you can leverage that into multiple products in the future, that's a very good thing. So make sure you do this for each supplier. Remove those that no longer fit with your strategy. But already at this point, you should have one, maybe two, really just shining through in terms of offering what you require, and someone that looks like you want to work with them, like they could further your business. Step number 5, this is to contact suppliers. So here we're going to go to that initial Alibaba listing of the product, as you can see here. And we're simply going to click on the contact supplier button here. And once you do that, it's going to open this contact box, as you can see. By the way, the supplier's name is always at the top here. So you can actually call them by their name, which I really recommend. So here, there's a couple things we can input. The first thing is that quantity, and we do want to do 500. It's a bit more of an expensive product, so we're going to leave that at 500. And here we can also specify certain things. So for example, bar accessories type, well, we're looking for a whiskey glass set. Secondly, what feature do we want to customize? The logo. What material are we looking for? Crystal is very important to us, etc. So put in a couple of those which are relevant, and then we're actually going to write out our first contact, our first email to the supplier. Now, in terms of writing this message out, there's a lot of different opinions on this. Should you reach out as this big business owner? Should you reach out as a purchasing agent for a company, etc.? All these different ways of doing it. I personally am not so much for the business owner approach, because only a really small business would have the owner actually reaching out to suppliers. The purchasing agent route, where you act as a purchasing agent for a company, or I guess you are the purchasing agent for your company, that works really well as well. But generally, those things are not as important as what suppliers want from you. What suppliers value is long-term relationships. They want ongoing orders into the future. That's a very big deal for them. 2, is it easy to work with you? Are you friendly? Are you easy to understand? Remember, English is not their first language, so included here is don't use big words. Keep it very, very simple, and use your supplier lingo as we covered in that other video. I'm going to link that below for you, but that's going to help you communicate well with them. And the other thing that they value is friendship. And you'll see that in the terms they use, in the way they write. So just be nice to work with as well. And we're also going to keep this initial reach out quite short, informative, and just include really important questions. We're not going to give them our full idea at this point. Not so much because we're scared they're going to steal it, but just because we're vetting whether or not they have the capabilities to meet what we need. And secondly, is it someone we want to work with? How do they respond? How fast do they respond, etc. So here's an example of how you could write this. So in this case, the supplier's name is Fancy. So I'd say, hi Fancy, my name is Dan. Our company is focused on the whiskey market and we're interested in your title. So here we're actually going to copy paste the title in. So it's stainless steel, bullet glass gift set, etc. I had a few questions before we look at placing an order with you. And then we list those questions. Do you offer OEM/custom logo? Do you have real crystal glass whiskey glasses? We don't want fake crystal glass. 3, can we choose the items that go in the box? We like your product line and want to choose which whiskey stones, coasters, and gift box. We are looking for a long-term business partner. I hope you can reply quickly and that we can work together. Thank you, Fancy, Dan, etc. So here, the important parts that I want you to pull out of this in your initial reach out is number 1, we're keeping it very, very simple. I'm using terms like items instead of components because it's easier for that supplier to understand. Also, they know exactly which product I'm referring to because I've copied and pasted that title in. In a certain part there, I also say placing an order with you. I basically say before placing an order with you. That's because I know that's what the supplier wants. That's their end goal. And that also gives a bit of importance to the questions which are about to follow. The 3 questions, probably the most important here, are numbered. And the reason they're numbered is I don't want them to miss one of those. If you just write out your questions, they might answer 2, but leave the 3rd. I want them to answer each, and hopefully the best case would be if their answers are actually numbered. Sometimes you can even ask them to number their answers. That way you don't have to hunt for answers, you can see it immediately. I also include the terms long-term business partner, which is something I want, and also together. Those things add value, and again, it aligns with what the suppliers value most. I also say there that I hope you can reply quickly. And the reason for that is one of the most critical for me, is I want a supplier who communicates really fast, and I want to start off on that foot. That's something I value. So you want to do this for all of the suppliers and then evaluate their responses. You want to evaluate them on the following. 1, how fast will they do respond? You want someone who responds really quickly, who's hungry, who wants to work with you, who values your business. 2, how well did they understand you? You need a supplier who understands English well enough. And 3, based on their responses to your questions, did they answer all of them? And can they actually do what you need? How flexible were they with those things? Was it more of an answer of, no, we can only provide what's listed? Or are they willing to work with you? That's what you need here. And then how is their general tone? Are they friendly, eager to work with you, valuing your business, wanting to know more? Or are they kind of offhandish and have a whole lot of inquiries so you're not so important? It's also really important here. And step number 6, this is to choose your supplier. After receiving those responses, you should really be able to narrow down to 1 or 2 suppliers, probably 1 at this point. And this is when you're actually going to start discussing your actual end envisioned product with them. You're going to start discussing those design aspects and how you want to build it. Now, Alibaba chat is okay in the back end there, but you're really going to want to move over to either WeChat or Skype at this point. The supplier is probably going to recommend that to you as well. And that way you can also share things like images and designs much more easily. At this point, you also want to have that supplier send you all of the components that you're thinking of including in that end product. So for example, stone coasters, different whiskey box designs. It could be certain crystal glass types, anything like that. You want them to send all of that to you. If you're looking at 2 suppliers, have both of them send all those components to you. Now, you don't need custom branded samples at this point, but I do recommend you have them send you those items that do have printing on them. It could even be their company's logo. The goal of that is that you can just evaluate the effectiveness of their printing, the quality of their printing, but it doesn't have to have your brand name on it at this point. Now, if you're getting a whole lot of different samples or from multiple suppliers, one thing I found really useful is I'll send all of those in China to Tiptrans in China, and they will actually put all of those into one big box for me once they're all received from the suppliers, and send me one international shipment. So that way you can save on a lot of cost as well. Those samples should be free. So the supplier shouldn't be charging you for those samples unless it's a very expensive product, but they are going to charge you for the shipping. So in that case, it would just be shipping to a local Tiptrans destination. If they're shipping directly to your house, you're not actually paying for the product, but you're paying for that international shipping. And if you aren't down to one supplier just yet, you definitely should be after getting those samples. So you're going to vet those samples, and you always want to go with the highest quality. So whoever offers the highest quality components and box, etc. in this case, that's the supplier you want to go with. You want to have a long-term product here, a listing that gets good reviews and continues into the future, not something where you just save on a bit of cost now, but then you get negative reviews and it doesn't become, a long-term thing. And you now have your supplier, and you can actually begin building your product. Now, for the suppliers that you don't end up working with, let them know that you've gone with someone else, and keep their contact. Keep a good relationship with them, because you never know when you might need them. And after this, of course, you're actually going to get ready to list your product on Amazon and then ship it to Amazon's fulfillment center. So I'm going to drop both those videos. We've got particular videos on each of those subjects. I'm going to drop them on screen up here somewhere now. But please comment below for me. Which of these two new tools do you like most? Is it either the Alibaba Supplier Finder or that Alibaba Demand Analyzer that we went through? Please comment for me below any other thoughts or questions you have. Would love to hear from you below. If you like this video, please drop us a quick like. Really appreciate that. Remember to subscribe. I saw a lot of you are not actually subscribed to the channel. Subscribe, turn on notifications. That way you're never going to miss an upload like this. But I hope you're all keeping really well. Happy sourcing, and I will see you in the next video.